You just said that I agree with Anisa in this, and that YouTube should be. I don't.
We're not talking about YouTube. I asked you specifically.
We are talking about YouTube. She's talking about YouTube. You dense fuck.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, chat. Can you hear him? How you
Hello.
doing, man?
Hello. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Yes. Hello. I'm doing okay.
Cool. All right. Apparently they can hear you. We're all good to go. So, I guess we got in an argument over Twitter, and you're the one who wanted to do this. So I'm just curious, what exactly? Because we never really discussed it on like DMs or whatever. But like, what do you actually specifically want to talk about? What's like the exact topic?
I guess the thing that really got me to, I guess, make the tweets in general was your response to Memology101 in regards to one of his videos that he made.
Okay.
I mean, like, there's like a couple of aspects to it. I'm kind of curious. What about it? What about the specific format that Memology does in terms of just text over a sort of like I guess synthwave, not 80s music? Do you find objectionable?
So it's not so much find it objectionable. I wouldn't use that word necessarily.
Okay.
As far as his like style goes, I would just say it's fucking lazy, and I don't really understand why people watch him. I think it's really in the same way. That
do you understand the reason why he does that though?
Because he makes like 10 videos a day.
No, you do realize that he's Honduran, right?
He's what? Sorry.
He's Honduran. English isn't his first language. Oh,
right. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I didn't.
Yeah.
Know that,
so when you cater to a mostly English audience, generally, you know, if you're ESL and you're not super fluent and maybe you have a bit of an accent, it might be difficult to for people to understand. That's why he doesn't do as many live streams, I think.
Oh, right. Okay, that's fair enough. I didn't know that. But that still doesn't excuse the fact that. Well, okay. So even then, there's still a couple issues I have. Firstly, the format isn't explained away by that, or isn't. What do you mean? What do you mean when you say that? Also, like even just if I accept that and take the format as is, that's fine. But the issue is that I think even within that format, his videos are incredibly lazy and just like don't convey a whole lot of information in an appropriate amount of time or anything like that. They're not particularly well-made videos.
Real quick though, weren't one of your criticisms about his video that he took time to explain the current ongoing stuff that was involving idubbbz in general, like to catch people up?
Wait, say that again?
1 second. 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. Where's he gone? Who knows? Do you reckon he's going to take some performance-enhancing drugs? He's snorting bare Adderall right now, doing a line of coke as well, guaranteed.
No, I just had to get up for something. Okay. My roommate needs something.
Just checking.
Okay, so continue with what you were saying. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So I guess my main you were going to say something. So you said an entire like spiel, but I didn't really understand what you were saying. So you said something about him catch people up on idubbbz.
Well, I'm asking if there was any other problems that you had the format. You said it was lazy, and it's just like, but then you said that like one of the problems was that he took time out of the video to kind of explain and set the stage about like some of the drama involving idubbbz.
I mean, you know what? I'm just gonna pop up my video because I'm not sure about the bit you mean.
Yeah, sure.
Can you timestamp me?
Well, I can. Here, I'll just do it in a much better way, real quick. Sure. Let's see. All right, tell me if you can see that.
Oh, am I supposed to be? Oh, wait, on Discord?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
This way you can see what's going on in like real time, and then also share it with your stream and all that sort of stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. I believe I believe it's like right around here. I'm not entirely sure, but just to check.
Yeah, it's different. 250k subs.
I can't believe you've done this.
So this video is only 2 minutes and 10 seconds, which is fucking tiny for a YouTube video these days especially. And for some maddening reason, he spends the next 30 seconds, a full 25% of this video, explaining that idubbbz basically supports her decision. He takes that...
So,
yeah, I can explain this if you want. Yeah,
okay, yeah, sure.
Easy. Super fucking easy to explain.
Sure.
None of what he says in the first 30 seconds is relevant to the second half. He basically could have summed it up as idubbbz supports her decision. Like he spends 30 seconds saying that one line. There's there's no extra context given, nothing. It's just that.
So you can't see a bit of a correlation between a video that's criticizing her like her sort of stance on a hypothetical in which her boyfriend loses his main means of employment, with him going out and being vocal in his support of her main means of employment. You know, you can't see a sort of correlation between those.
Say that again. Wait. So you're saying there's a correlation between him like giving his support on something that she'll make money on and her attacking something he makes money on, right? That's what you say. Is that what you're saying?
No, so the core concept of the video is that she seems to be indifferent or in a hypothetical in which her boyfriend loses his main means of employment and the thing that he's worked like a long time on, that her sort of thing is sort of indifferent, is sort of a contrast to his like very vocal, very open support of his girlfriend's new career decisions.
Yeah, sure, it's relevant, but again, you could sum it up in one sentence. You could just say that idubbbz clearly supports her. You show the tweet, you go, idubbbz supports her, and then move on. You don't need to spend 30 seconds on it.
What do you think the adequate amount of time would be to spend time on that then?
I don't know, like maybe a 5-second PowerPoint slide? Maybe literally like 5-10 seconds tops.
Okay. I mean, I would just say that setting up the stage because I don't remember the specific video in question. Does he play any footage in regards to that, or is it just tweets?
Nope, it's literally he shows one tweet and then there's two essentially two like PowerPoint slides, 2 paragraphs that he's written or whatever. That's it. Paragraphs is generous. It's like, you know, short sentences. It could have been, like I said, it could have been summed up in 30 seconds. It's just very repetitive, especially for 2 minutes and video. But honestly, I don't even know why we're really discussing this. I don't feel like, I mean, this is a minor criticism.
Well, you said you said that it was irrelevant and that there was no discernible reason, and then you just kind of said that like you can see how they might be contextual, and then you changed it to, well, now it's just too long. Like I'm like, I don't know, like
okay, let me explain. This is really, really simple. Firstly, it's too long. That's one criticism. That's criticism A, right? But that is disconnected to my second. That is like irrelevant to my second criticism. My second criticism is that realistically, you don't need to know. You don't even really need to know that idubbbz supports her to understand what she's saying. Like, there's no. Put it this way: whether idubbbz supported her or not would not change what she said in relation to idubbbz.
No, it would make it makes it seem that worse though. Like he's went publicly in support of her. He went publicly in support of her, like actively I guess antagonizing his audience to some extent to like say, no, I am 100% okay with this. This is a-okay. Whereas like in a hypothetical, it's like, well, I mean, it's YouTube's decision if he loses his livelihood. Oh well. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like I would probably like feel just a little bit like shit on if my girlfriend did that after I did something like that. Look,
all I can say to this,
yeah.
All I can say to this is a real, like, we can't have a discussion here. There's literally no point in talking about this because I wouldn't give the slightest fuck. If my girlfriend was to start an OnlyFans account or whatever, I'd be totally in support of her. She can do it. Fuck it, whatever. It really doesn't affect me. I don't give a fuck, right? And then if the next day she was like, Devin's really fucking edgy on stream sometimes. If he gets banned, that would be a fair thing for Twitch to do. I wouldn't give the slightest fuck because she's saying a true statement. She's just saying a 100% an accurate statement. Put it this way: if this guy's saying that Anisa,
there's a difference between like saying though that oh, hey, this would be like within their legal rights to do, as opposed to they really shouldn't do that though. Like I feel like I don't know. I just feel as if and I guess I'll brought it into like the broader discussion later on some of the stuff. I don't know. It seems like kind of very unsupportive the way I see it anyway.
I mean, well, all I can say is that idubbbz clearly doesn't see it like that, and I'm a person speaking to you that's telling you that I would not give the slightest fuck if that happened to me. Yeah. So maybe me and idubbbz are cut from a different cloth.
Yeah,
like,
I can't force people to have dignity in a relationship. I definitely
That's not having
can't.
Dignity. That's such a fucking weaselly, stupid way of phrasing
it absolutely is though.
How is that got anything to do with dignity? How?
It does. Like I don't know. If I went to the mat to support my girlfriend in her career, I would at least hope that like publicly, at the very least, she does the same for me. I don't know.
Well, but these are two. Well, speaking of disanalogous, as I'm sure we'll get into later, this is This is completely disanalogous because, okay, so idubbbz, no one is attacking Anisa's ability to actually go onto OnlyFans and do shit, right? There is no force from OnlyFans potentially removing her content or anything like that. All of the antagonism is coming from the audience. So when idubbbz comes and protects her from the audience and lets people know, he's doing that because he wants people to know that he thinks this is okay and that they're being stupid for criticizing, but like either of them for it, right? Whereas Anisa is specifically talking about what YouTube is capable of doing. She to say she should just blindly defend him could be like, I just don't understand why you'd ever do that. Like why you'd ever want someone to lie on your behalf in like the name of support. Like that just seems really fucking dumb. If I go up to like, I don't know, if I go up to someone and have a discussion and I'm like, hey, did you know the sky is green? And they're like, no, the sky's blue. The fuck are you talking about? And if my girlfriend was to say to me, yeah, the sky is green. Yeah, the sky is green. My boyfriend is correct. I would think less of her after discovering the truth later on. I would want her to tell me I'm wrong. It doesn't make any fucking sense as to why. Oh, sorry, am I being really loud? I'm sorry, wait,
right, but
I said, and I do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She just said that she does basically. She does call me out on my bullshit, which is true. But the point is that I'm trying to make is like I wouldn't want anyone ever to just, I don't know, not give their own opinion in fear of not showing support for me. Like that seems really fucking stupid.
But do you think that in general, the sort of thing that like the way that she sort of framed it in general, like I don't think that it was really in dispute that YouTube has the ability currently to do that on a whim, but like YouTube should be able to do that on a whim as well. Do you think that that's a valid position?
I'd have to look at a tweet specifically, but probably not. Let's have a look. I mean, I think it just depends on the phrasing, right? Because I don't think she was given an opinion, essentially. She might still potentially think that it would be a shitty thing for YouTube to do, but I don't think that's what she said. She literally just said, like, they can do this, which is a valid point to make.
Well, it's right here on the thing. Also, I would see it says if he even ever got removed from YouTube for his content cup series, that would be unfortunate. But it's YouTube's right to do that. Ian made choices and made risks in making edgy content, just as I've made in making it OnlyFans. I still hold that opinion regardless. That's life.
Yeah. So it seems like she's talking about anything.
It seems like when you say something like that's life, it's just like, yeah, it's just how it has to be. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but like, no, I disagree. That's she's saying like that's life, as in like that's the way the cookie crumbles. Like it just that's how it goes, right? Like I don't know. I don't see how that's a contentionable thing to say. She's never at any point said that. She even. I don't understand why you're attributing so much malice to her when you could just as easily read this in a different way.
I'm not really attributing malice. I just think it's really shitty.
Dude, one sec. You've cut me off like 100 times. Let me finish my sentence, okay?
Okay, Dave.
The first sentence says, if Ian ever got removed from YouTube for his content cop series, it would be unfortunate. How is that not her saying that she would prefer they didn't? How is that not her giving support in a way to her boyfriend? I literally don't understand how you could read this with such malice intent. It's such a neutral, cold take.
Maybe if she followed up with, though, like, you know, maybe YouTube should have different policies in place to make it so less vague than it currently is.
But
I don't know.
Doesn't believe that. Maybe she's actually fine with YouTube operating like this.
I mean, that would be really shitty. Like I said, I don't know. I think that as a person who does things online, that I would find it kind of shitty if I went to bat for my girlfriend and she was like, oh yeah, well, they should have the right to just do it willy nilly. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like
I'm curious about one thing then. If okay, would you draw the same? Okay, say your girlfriend. I don't know. Say your girlfriend got into a fight and she very, very, very clearly was like the one to first throw the first punch and was the first one to like antagonize and whatnot, and she pretty much deserved to get punched. Would you then, like, after the fight, like, you might defend her or whatnot, that's understandable because like emotions involved and shit and whatnot. I'm not going to say you have to like deck her or whatever, but like, would you afterwards just suck up to her and be like, oh yeah, you were totally in the right? Or would you actually say like, no, I think you started the fight?
In private or public?
Wait, you tell him, are you really going to tell me that in public you would like suck up to her and then in private you tell her the truth?
In public, as long as I'm not like breaking the law or like extremely debasing myself, I would still stand by her in that instance. In private, I might say, hey, sweetie, that was really kind of fucked up what you did.
Really? I mean, you wouldn't in public be like, hey, what are you doing? Do you want to stop? You should stop this. Would you not like
I would probably try to stop her. Yeah, I probably would try to stop her and try to calm her down and stuff like that. It's like, but I wouldn't also say that, like, you know, I guess if she was like pissed off at somebody, it's like, yeah, no, she's absolutely right. You need to, you know, and you need to calm down. I don't know. I would say that it's in that sort of one, I would probably say to you know, maybe calm it down, but in you know, in private, I might be a little bit more scathing in my critique of her behavior.
Well, I guess I don't know what to say, man. I guess we just approach things differently.
Yeah, we just approach things in a different direction. But that's fine.
Either way, my point in the video still stands true. Then my criticism of him is still true because he's attributing a lot of what you're attributing to idubbbz and Anisa. Whereas in, like, from my perspective, it appears that they're probably a bit more similar to me and that neither of them really give a fuck about this. And like, honestly, if I had to guess,
idubbbz absolutely doesn't give a fuck about it because he knows that he's in the good graces of YouTube and won't get ever called out for it right now anyway. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, you know, they took down like 2 of his content cops, right?
Okay. So do you think that they'll shit can him without any sort of word like they did with Leafy?
Yeah, but they won't do that. But that's not even. Hang on.
Real quick.
Okay, all right, go on. Make it fucking quick. Go on.
Do you honestly believe that YouTube operates in a completely unbiased manner and treats all content creators like evenly?
That's not what it said, but that's not even what Anisa's saying.
Well, that's why I'm asking you. That's why I'm asking you. Do you honestly believe that?
I don't know what I believe, but I don't think it's relevant to this conversation because we're talking about what Anisa knows.
I think it is. Well, I think if you know that you're in a position where you're never going to get fucked with, then you're going to have completely different outlooks in terms of like how YouTube operates.
Maybe if you're a partisan hack, sure, but anyone with like the tiniest bit of integrity won't. And I don't generally listen to people that don't have integrity, so I don't know, man.
Who do you believe that says that you think doesn't have integrity?
Well, I'm just talking about anyone. I'm saying that if you're changing your belief based on your own personal position and not looking from objectively, you're a bit of a fucking hack.
Yeah, but like, do you think? Again, like, do you think that idubbbz thinks that he operates under the same sort of rules and regulations that other people do? Okay.
No, I think idubbbz probably thinks he gets away with more stuff, but I also think he would admit that publicly. I don't think that anyone
really. You think that he would like go out there and says, "Yes, I receive special treatment from YouTube publicly."
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if. But the thing is, right? So like, I would say that he received special treatment. I think I don't know. Obviously, I think idubbbz would acknowledge that, but not only that. But I also think he would qualify the statement, which is justified. I think he would also say something along the lines of, and this would be my position, that basically, because he's been on the platform for so long and operated on there within their constraints and changed his content over time to suit them, I think he would say, yes, I get special treatment, but to some extent it's deserved. At the end of the day, if you have an employee who's been there for 1 week and they fall asleep on the job, they're getting fired. If you have an employee that's been there for 15 years and they've been perfect, you're not going to fire them if they fall asleep on the job like one time.
You just said that he's had multiple. You said that he's had multiple videos of his removed.
Yeah, he's had multiple videos of his removed, but that still doesn't change anything that I'm saying. Like, how does that change anything?
Well, then he's not an employee with a spotless record.
Well, no, he's not an employee of a spotless record, but they removed some of his old videos, and now he makes way less edgy content. So they'd probably acknowledge, okay, because at the end of the day, YouTube was more okay with edgy content back in the day. So I doubt that they would really hold it against him for making content that they were okay with back in the day.
All right.
I mean, does that? I'm just curious. Does that seem logical to you? Because that seems like so obvious to me.
I think that if I was a recipient of special attention and I knew it, I wouldn't broadcast it. And I think that the people that were giving me special attention, special treatment, would also probably not want me to broadcast it. They sort of, in general, people in general like to believe that everybody is playing under a same operating field. And when people receive preferential treatment, people get kind of pissed.
Yeah, no, I agree, but that doesn't change what they actually do, and I still think idubbbz would acknowledge that. Like,
well, no. If you agree with that, then you probably would agree that they probably don't brag about their preferential treatment.
Well, I mean, sure, but I don't see why that's relevant to the conversation. Bragging about it is very.
Well, that was what you just. But okay. All right.
Well, they are. Like, if I were to say, okay, yeah, YouTube gives special treatment, but then if I was a big content creator, if I was to go out and say, like, fuck all these small content creators, y'all can suck my fucking dick, boys, y'all are getting banned way quicker than me, you know, like, if you were being really obnoxious about it, I think that's very fucking different saying, yeah, I probably received special treatment from YouTube. That's very different.
Again, I think that the problem is the special treatment, and I think that it would probably be a good thing to eliminate that. But I guess we can get into that too. I guess the main core of it was, unless you had anything else to talk about this before I switch topics.
Hey, dude, I'm just here pretty much at your whim.
Okay.
I thought we were going to talk more about like the video I made specifically, but I'm more than happy to talk about any topic. The only thing I'll say is, obviously I thought this was starting sooner, so I may not be able to be about for
that's fine, dude.
Ages and ages. But if you want to pick this conversation up at a different time, I'm more than happy to do that.
Just let me know when you need to. Just let me know when you need to head out, and we'll wrap it up. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I should. 1 second. Let me just ask.
Yeah, sure.
What sort of time? Where should I cap this?
What time?
It's like 12.
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Yeah, it won't go that
damn.
long.
Yeah, we won't go that long. That's fine. Cool. All right. Yeah, we're good to go.
Okay. All right. So let's see. I guess the main thing that we kind of got on, I guess, that I picked up is so you believe that YouTube removing people from their website is them exercising their own free speech?
As far as I'm aware, yes. I will admit I could potentially be slightly wrong in how this works. I could be slightly wrong here specifically. But yeah.
Okay. What's your reasoning behind that specifically?
They're a private company and they can decide what they want on their platform, what they don't want on the platform. There doesn't have to be any logical rhyme or reason behind it.
Companies just get to do whatever they want willy-nilly?
That's not what I said. I said a
well,
platform.
you just said that you just said that they get to do whatever they want with no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, if YouTube started to just take down like 50, if YouTube were to Thanos snap their platform, there wouldn't be any legal action taken against them. They'd be perfectly within their right to do that.
And you think that's a good way for, I guess, the law to operate in this instance?
So I guess this is a issue with maybe, I don't know, the people I talk to or engage with, but like I never said that. I just said that's how it operates. I don't necessarily think it's good or bad. I don't know. Honestly, I'd probably need to think about whether it's good or bad, because I think, yeah, I don't know. I think I'd need to think about whether I think that's a good or bad thing. But that's not what I'm saying.
Like, you understand that like terms of service are a two-way street, right?
I mean, explain.
Like, they can't just up and remove accounts legally for no particular reason, especially if it goes in violation of their stated terms of service.
I mean, is that true?
Yeah.
Can you link me something that like shows that?
Well, I mean, that's how all terms of services work. Like, it's an agreement between both the website and the user.
Okay, so if that's true, then why can't Leafy like sue YouTube?
So Leafy in particular, they probably classified it under their harassment policy, which I would probably like heavily disagree with, especially since like the ones that people seem to be going for is that he directly mocked Pokemon's appearance, which like if we're being like completely honest, like he did so in a very unscathingly way. Like the amount of him hurting the way that he did that, like, was just completely benign, if anything, right?
I mean, it just depends on your perspective. I thought it was really fucking pathetic and just not that interesting at all. Like, I mean,
really?
It was kind of.
Do
like,
you think that do you think that just to clarify, do you think that Pokemon's abuse of copyright law was no big thing?
No, I think it depends on what you're talking about specifically, because the Pokemon thing's a whole other can of worms. Basically, some of the stuff she took down wasn't okay because it comes under fair use and she was abusing the MCA, and some of the other stuff was perfectly justified. I'd need to look at a specific video.
Okay. Well, I mean, that was some of the stuff that Leafy covered. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, sure. Leafy did cover it to some extent, but I think the one that was used in the video, in Leafy's video, was like of a guy that just took a clips compilation of a bunch of streamers and added like no editing. And I mean, I don't see an issue of taking that down.
If you took a bunch of clips, by definition, that is editing, but I can understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Do you? He also covered the Boblax DMCA, I believe, as well.
Yeah, so I'm aware of the Boblax thing, and as far as I'm aware, Pokemon's already apologized for the Boblax thing, and even before her new apology.
Okay, but like Leafy covering that, like, do you think that because she apologized for that she shouldn't be criticized anymore for that, or?
To some extent, I guess, yeah, because, so put it this way, if someone comes out and apologizes for something and you keep criticism for it, what are you achieving by that? If it's genuinely changed from that point, then I don't see what there is to criticize. It's just, it's a weak criticism. I mean, you can mention it if you want, but then really I would say that's...
Is it really a weak criticism?
Yeah.
Like, a copyright strike can, like, severely fuck a person's channel up.
Okay,
for like
I'm curious.
For like months, the strike stood up. Like, you don't think that's a big deal for somebody who just like got upset that, like, you know, they were slighted, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah, obviously it's a big deal to them, but the point I would go back to is that, like, at the end of the day, do you think people should always have to repent for things they've done in the past? Do you think that no one can ever move forward from any dumb statement or any, like, hurtful thing that they've done or whatever? Do you think that someone who's been an asshole to a girlfriend in the past doesn't ever deserve the right to get a girlfriend in the future and always has to live by that? Like, do you think people are bound to the things they've done in the past?
Do you think that the person, and like, to flip that around, do you think that the person who is an asshole boyfriend deserves to have his ex-girlfriend muzzled from criticizing him?
Not muzzled, but I don't think, put it this way, in this analogy, let's put it this way. If say I had an ex and I was shitty to her, and then she said, you were shitty to me and broke up with me, right? And then she would tell a bunch of her friends about it, whatever, fine. I would accept that. But if 5 years down the line, she showed up at my door and then started telling my new girlfriend that he was shitty to me before, yeah, I think that's pretty fucked up.
Okay.
She can do that. She's perfectly allowed to do that. But I would think of it, I would think worse of her for it rather than the person being criticized in that context. Would you not? Would you really say that, like, every criticism should be held over someone's head forever? Is that really your, like, position?
I mean, given the fact that Pokimane later went on to go and attack the revenue source of one of her critics, It's a Gundam. Like, yeah, no, I think that's a valid thing to bring up, especially if you're, like, talking about sort of a certain, like, lack of character when it comes to taking any sort of criticism and, like, sort of lashing out over, like, any sort of perceived threats to her image. Yeah, I think it's a valid thing, especially when it's somebody who's much smaller than her in the long run.
I think this is a complete false analogy. At the end of the day, if you want to demonstrate someone has a negative character, that's one thing. But I wouldn't say that's what Leafy did, or at least if he did attempt to do that, I think his video is very, very, very bad at illustrating that. And yeah, go on.
Well, no, like, but you think it's this you don't think that's a good analogy, but, like, again, it was an example of her using her position to basically go after somebody that said something negative about her.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but my point is that, like, criticizing. My point is, if she apologized for the first thing, why even bother mentioning it? If she's genuinely moved on and changed from that, why even bother mentioning? Why not just
because
mention
it establishes?
Well, let me finish.
Okay.
Why not just mention the new thing that she's done that's shitty and attack her for that over it? Surely that makes a lot more sense. And it'll make your criticisms a lot more valid.
No, we all the time reference back to previous behaviors to establish a pattern of shitty behavior. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that's a bad thing for the most part. Okay,
really?
In a court of law, when you're trying to work out whether someone's sexual allegations are legit, then that's a thing. But that's usually in the context of they haven't changed their behavior, and there's women that have come forward over the last, like, how many ever years. I don't know how long ago, like, a crime has to have been for charges to get dropped, but my point is that's usually, in that context, that makes sense, because they're still doing bad things. In this context, if she's apologized and changed her behavior, why would you criticize her for that behavior? It just makes your criticism seem weaker.
In that specific instance, she had not changed her behavior. She simply changed her tactics, so she didn't break the law this time.
I completely disagree with this framing.
Really?
Yes, she changed the behavior, and I would say okay. So you're talking about her going after sponsors, right?
Yes, it's the Gundam's sponsors. Yes.
Yeah. So So I don't even know if I would say she went after It's a Gundam sponsors, but I think, put it this way, I would say
she went on to.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Seriously. So I would say it's very different directly copyright striking someone versus on a live stream saying it's kind of weird that this person's sponsoring this.
She went on to the
very different things.
She went on a tangent about the guy's sponsor's website and like routinely mocked the sponsor as well, basically drawing bad attention because she herself was slighted.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of edgy, but I mean, she hasn't like gone to the sponsor and told them like you need to drop this person and get her, like, you know, she hasn't done any of that
kind of edgy. Well, yeah, especially not public, because that would just make her look like a complete fucking bitch. But like,
apparently apparently she doesn't give a fuck about looking like a bitch because she's happy to copyright strike people. So I would say that
she stopped doing it after she got called out about it. She absolutely stopped doing that after she got caught doing it and got called out for it. Like that was a calculation that she took, and it completely backfired in her face. Just like this calculation that she took completely backfired in her face to the point that she apologized for that too. Okay, now, so again, I'm 100% willing to say, like, you know what? Yeah, like we probably shouldn't beat the dead horse into the ground. However, if she does something similar again after hearing something that she doesn't like about herself, then, like, yeah, that apology was also bullshit. The apology she gave the first time was bullshit.
Hey, do you want to know a secret meme? I've got a secret meme for you. All apologies are bullshit. Apologies mean fucking nothing.
Absolutely not. If you don't
repeat,
what are you
talking about?
If you don't repeat the behavior and take steps to actively make sure that like the person that you've wronged is like adequately compensated, apologies are 100% like 100% sincere in that instance. But if you repeat the same, like if you repeat the same behavior or repeat the same behavior under like a slightly different tactic, then the apology is absolutely not sincere.
But then this is my point. Like, your actions are what's relevant. The apology itself is always bullshit. Like, I don't, to be honest, if I ever fuck up, I don't think I'll ever issue an official apology. I'll actually just, like, move on and take actions in a certain way. I probably won't apologize, because apologies mean fucking nothing. If a person comes out and says, I am sorry for X, Y, and Z, until they start acting on it, I don't give a fuck. And I never will.
I mean, that's just I guess we're just gonna have to disagree on that one, but I think that if I were to ever do something shitty and I got called out for it and I felt that, like, in hindsight, yeah, it was really shitty, I would definitely apologize and take steps to not repeat that behavior. But again, I guess we just have different mindsets when it comes to this.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, on a personal level, like, if I fuck up and, like, my girlfriend's mad at me, yeah, I'll apologize there. But that's, like, a very different personal thing. Like, on a public level, if I do something shitty to another content creator, for example, like, I might apologize to them in, like, private or some shit, but making it this big public thing, I don't like this trend at all. I think it's really weird. I think, ultimately, people just apologize in a way for clout. I don't think there's a way to do a sincere apology. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, like, ultra cynical. I'm not sure, but, like, I only care about actions, ultimately.
Do you believe that, I guess in this instance, do you think that you were a little shitty to Memology when he left that comment? What do you think? What do you think that he tried to convey with that with that comment?
Well, you're gonna have to give me tell me the exact story around. Like,
let's see. Memology 4 days ago. Massive respect. I miss criticizing bigger YouTubers when I had just around 5K subs. Keep grinding.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, all right. Basically, with this comment, when I saw it on my YouTube, I was like, I really dislike this guy, and I actually don't respect him or his takes. And I was kind of on the fence as to making like a meme, kind of a memey response to him. But in the end, I was like, you know, I'll just leave it. It's fine. He's being nice, so whatever. It's fine. But this isn't like, I wasn't being shitty at him about that comment. In fact, I specifically wasn't shitty to him on YouTube. It was what he said on Twitter that I disagreed with. So, like, I don't understand. Why would I not be shitty to him over something I disagree with him on? Like, I don't understand.
Let's see, I'm just trying to find your.
I can tell you exactly what happened. Okay, I can tell you literally.
Well, I'd rather read out the tweet, to be honest.
If you want, you can. All right.
Yeah, sure.
Hang on. Slow down.
Wait, is it still there?
Scroll up. Yeah, it will still be there. Okay. Wait. Scroll down a bit. Sorry. Oh no, okay, yeah, no, scroll up, sorry. This is old shit. Okay, stop here. Okay, so...
here we go.
See, wait, it's further down.
No, wait.
There's more context than that. That was the latest tweet, but there's way more context than that. See that bit where I said, oh no, Memology101 is a coward, couldn't have seen that coming? If you click on that embedded tweet, I can show where this whole thing started. Okay,
so do you believe that a larger creator not wanting to give... I'm guessing probably a smaller one. I hate to like use it in that terms, but like this guy's got like 44 followers.
Yeah, whatever.
This one's got 40. Like, do you understand how people might do that to like kind of earn clout, and maybe he just doesn't feel like being used for that?
He doesn't. Okay, he doesn't have to respond to every single small content creator whatsoever, but he doesn't respond to any. And he doesn't, I've never seen him respond to a legit criticism. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't watched him for that long, so it's possible he's done it in the past, but as far as I'm aware, he hasn't responded to shit from anyone. Unless I would guarantee you.
Does he have to though? Like, does he have to though? Does he have to like basically have every single person that like bitches about him?
I'll give you that. He doesn't need to respond to shit. It's totally up to him. He doesn't have to respond to anything if he doesn't want to. Not even from the small people. He could, if someone fucking, I don't know, if like BBC News fucking made a news article about Memology101, he doesn't have to respond to that. It's totally up to him whether or not he does. But I'm gonna call him a coward for it. Like, that's totally within my right as well. Like, why would I not call someone out who isn't going to respond to legitimate criticism? That's hilarious to me.
And I'm just kind of curious, like you said, oh, by the way, I don't care for your respect. Next time you respond to me, my video, attack my points. Like, do you think he was attacking you, or do you think he was like, you know, like being genuine when he said like, hey, your grind is pretty good, keep up at it? Like, I don't know.
Just explain,
this
can I
is
explain
like
the whole
really
situation? Can I just explain the whole situation, because it'll make this so much simpler? Okay, so he sent that comment and I was like, cool, that's cool. I'm like, you know, unlike Diesel Patches, at least he's actually like spoken about it. Like, he didn't mention any of the points of the video, whatever. He's like, whatever. He's saying, well done, congratulations, keep grinding. Fine. But then he gave a dumb take on Twitter. I responded to that take. He said something after that that was even dumber, and I tweeted about it and was like, this is a really dumb thing to say. Then he screenshotted, didn't even retweet my fucking tweet. He just screenshotted it, which to me shows how much of a coward he is, because, I don't know, he didn't want to give me the notification that he tweeted about me again, I guess. But he screenshotted it instead of tweeting it out. So I responded to that, because he was mocking me for that comment. I responded to him saying, by the way, just to let you know, I don't give a fuck about your respect, because I don't. I really don't care about anyone's approval on the internet. Everyone on here is kind of dumb, in my opinion, at least for the most part. Next time, actually try and respond to my video. So
I don't think he had any response to your video or even attacking. I think he was just being like genuinely nice.
You know, he wasn't attacking my video in the comment, but he was on Twitter. That's what I'm saying. We had a spat on Twitter.
because you said that this was a stupid take, and I don't know, like this doesn't seem like a very stupid take, to be honest. Because
can I just explain the whole thing? It's
wait, did you actually compare the MLK protests to the BLM riots that we're currently facing in America?
Kind of, but this is why you need to see the previous tweet, which is why I want to explain it.
Yeah, let's see where the previous tweet is.
So if you go to Memology, click on, oh fuck, I don't even know how I can do this. It's gonna be, go to Memology's channel, it won't be on here, because I didn't retweet everything. I replied to him a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you replied to him a whole lot, dude. You seem kind of just a little bit obsessed with him.
I mean, I wouldn't really call it obsessed. I just like arguing with people on Twitter. I do this a lot. Like,
no, I can understand that. Twitter's a fun place to argue with people.
Good ass fucking place. Hella memers on there. It's a good ass time.
Yeah.
You'd like I said, you'd have to go to Memology's channel. You're not going to find it here.
Like, there's so many other things too. Do you know what you specifically said? That might be easier that way.
Scroll down to yesterday. You're going to need to go to beyond 24 hours ago. It might even need to be up to like 2 days ago. But if you keep scrolling, I'll be able to spot it the second it shows up, and we can go. Okay, cool. Here we go. So keep scrolling down. Scroll down. Keep going. It's before this. This was like halfway through the whole conversation, dude.
Okay.
Actually, it might have been towards the end even. Okay, so this guy, somewhere around here, some guy says to Memology, you're trying to spin a narrative, just own it, basically, which is 100% correct, and that's what I said. That's my first tweet to him. Yeah, this one here.
Well, what was he trying to spin a narrative on specifically?
So if you look at all the posts he makes, every single one of them are the like most bog standard Republican bullshit, like conservative talking points. Every single one of his videos plays into that. He's absolutely trying to spin a narrative regarding the protests, because he's only showing like basically the horror of the riots, and that's literally the only thing he shows. And that's very clear from this, not only this screenshot, but his whole channel. And
okay, so
my opinion of this is
he did about a couple of days, I guess, with riots, with I guess one about Trevor Noah, which probably is about the riots. Sean King, which probably isn't about the riots.
But my point, it doesn't matter how many videos he made of the riots. The point is the only videos on the riots that he made are all 100% just showing burning buildings. That's the only footage he shows. He never shows anything beyond that or explains why they're happening or anything like that. He's literally just showing riot footage. And
you understand that like riots would help get views on his channel, right?
Sure, and that's fine. If he just said, "Hey, I was just trying to get views," that's perfectly fine. You fucking.
Well, he said it was spinning a narrative, and I don't know. I don't even know. I honestly don't even know what Memology's like political affiliation is. Again, he doesn't even live in the United States.
I can promise you, Memology will align with 95% of mainstream Republican talking points in the US. I guarantee that's where he's at. But either way, to be fair, if I'm wrong on
would you say that like the entirety of everything that's on Destiny's channel is trying to spin a narrative then?
No.
Really?
Nope. I mean, if you literally, so like most of the time he's talking about progressive talking points. But if you actually like watch his content for more than 5 seconds, you'll realize he actually has a pretty balanced view on everything. And not only that, he always gives both sides. But even beyond that, recently he's hardcore falling out with the left, because he had the whole like anti-left arc. This was like a whole thing.
He's falling out with the retards that are trying to defend people assaulting people and getting shot because of it. Yeah,
exactly. So
where do you stand on that?
So to be honest, I take Destiny's old position, which I'm a little bit I guess disappointed he's dropped, in that covering breaking news in this way is really fucking toxic and cancerous.
Well, it's not breaking news anymore. It's been like 5 days.
Yeah, but we still don't know all of the even close to all the facts.
For what you understand from facts on the ground, from what you've seen, what's your take on this?
So based on what I have seen, I would probably say that put it this way. Based on the footage on its own, out of context with everything else, and for the record, just so anyone who's watching, I don't like commenting on this because I don't like commenting on stuff when we don't know the facts. But if I had to, I would say it seems like he is acting in self-defense.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that. But regardless, I think this is kind of pointless anyway. This is like we've gone way off track. The point is...
no, I think it's very relevant.
Well, hang on. Can we just bring it back to the narrative thing? Can we just bring it back to the narrative thing? So, but either way, my point is that with Destiny, he'll tell both sides of the story. He'll say, in regards to Shooter, I think it's dumb as fuck to go out and defend your own property in this way. I think it's really fucking stupid to do this. But at the same time, it seems like he was acting in self-defense, and he'll be honest about it, right? Whereas Memology, is only showing footage of like burning buildings and giving no context for it or anything like that, and then is denying he's spinning a narrative. And look, for the record, even if he isn't intentionally spinning a narrative, he might still be doing it unintentionally, and that's what I would say he's doing. I don't care whether he intends to spin a narrative or not. The point is, if you look in the comments section of all his videos, it's going to be people that are like, yeah, fuck the rioters, fuck BLM, they're a bunch of like terrorists and anti-fucking go fuck themselves. If I was there, I'd have gunned them all down myself. Like, his comment section is full of people like that, and the reason he attracts those people is because he's spinning a narrative. Whether he does it intentionally or not doesn't matter.
Do you think that if Destiny was covering a right-wing person on a video, that the comment section would be filled with people that saying that the person he doesn't like deserves like something similar?
I mean, it depends on the points being made. I don't know, because I've seen
like the comment section of a YouTube channel is not really where I would go for like the pulse of like the person's stuff. I'd probably go for like what the guy actually really does.
Easily. So yeah, I can explain. So I agree, that's true. But
then why'd you bring up his comment section?
Because he's cultivated an audience that believes that. And my point is that you don't... Put it this way, if I were to make nothing but right-wing content forever, I wouldn't expect to have a bunch of left-wing fans. So my point is, regardless of whether you not think he's spinning a narrative, he's clearly attracting a certain type of person, which means his content appeals to that type of person. Would you disagree?
So if a serial killer watched my stuff, I'd be responsible for catering towards a serial killer?
At what point did I mention the word responsibility?
I don't know. I'm just like, it attracts a certain kind of people. That's what I'm just kind of curious about.
Yeah. What does attracting a certain audience have to do with you being responsible for them? I never said anything.
Well, I mean, like, I attract serial killers that might be like something bad, right? Though I don't know.
No, but what I would probably say is that I would say that you're spinning a narrative in such a way that it's attracting this type of people. I wouldn't necessarily say that's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that's what you're doing.
See, I don't know. I
think
that people that make I think people that make videos online and stuff like that, like, they're not inherently responsible for any sort of audience that they do
How
or
are you
cultivate.
Missing the
and I think
I'm
that
I think
that bringing up the comment section of a YouTube audience is I don't know. It seems kind of like disconnected from everything. I don't know.
I don't understand how you're missing my point this hard. It's like quite impressive, to be honest. The point, I never said anything about responsibility. This is the point I'm making. I'm just saying that by making a certain type of content, you'll cultivate a certain audience. So to deny that what you're doing is spinning a narrative, the narrative being that of like in favor of right-wing politics, against BLM, anti-riots, by denying that, you're just like, put it this way, you can't make that content, attract these people, and then deny you're spinning a narrative to cater towards them. You might be doing it unintentionally, but that is what you're doing. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
no, if you're spinning a narrative, you by definition have to be doing it intentionally.
No, I don't think that's true at all.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. If I were to go out and were to only ever make fucking if I were to only ever show footage of a bunch of riots, and I don't intend to like if I literally what Memology is doing, right? If he posts only negative riot coverage and suddenly gets a right-wing audience, it doesn't matter. Like, okay, look, you know what? This is semantics. It actually doesn't matter, to be honest. I'm just saying that ultimately he makes the type of content, it caters to a certain type of people, and that it is what it is. But he's denying that. He's saying he's not spinning a narrative. He's saying that ultimately he doesn't cater towards anyone. He's just giving objective news. That's absolutely not what he's doing.
Okay.
That's my entire point. I'm not saying he's responsible for his audience. We haven't even close to got to there. I happen to actually do believe that you probably are somewhat responsible for your audience, but that's a whole other discussion. Well, look, we don't even have to touch that topic because ultimately we're so far away from that conversation. Right now, I'm just saying that you make a certain type of content, you'll get a certain type of audience. That's it.
Okay.
I mean, do you agree with that, surely, right?
I don't know, dude. I think I have
you think that like Destiny could come out and make nothing but progressive content for God knows how long, and he's gonna get like all of the alt-right watching him. Is that like, do you really believe that?
Isn't that like kind of his fucking narrative in general, that he like takes people that were alt-right and takes them into like retard left levels? I don't know.
But that's my point. If he converts them,
I think that the people.
Saying.
Well, like, then no. If you're accepting that premise and then saying, oh, but like he draws them in anyway, like, really, dude, really?
You just said a nothing statement. That was a nothing statement.
No, it really
didn't
was.
Make any sense?
It did. You're saying that you're saying that his YouTube channel wouldn't attract like right-wing people, but at the same time, right-wingers watch his stuff and then get changed into wherever the fuck he is right now politically. Like, really, dude?
Yeah, so my entire point is that you're not going to cultivate an alt-right audience or culture by making left-wing content, right? Destiny has made left-wing content.
No, you're just going to get people to watch it.
What?
I'm very confused as to where you're coming from this, but
look, dude, I'm literally saying the most simple shit in the world. All right, put it this way. Let me break it down even simpler. If I made a bunch of content that was hyper stylized, really cool green visuals, and I cultivated an audience of people whose favorite color is green, I would say that makes sense. Now, you might get some people who come over whose favorite color is blue, and they may change their mind and suddenly go, oh, you know what? My favorite color is green now. I would say that is very different to having an audience mostly built up of people who only like the color blue. Do you understand?
I still think that people could still watch it regardless. There's probably other factors into that too. Maybe they're just like weird Adderall addicts. I don't know. I can't say.
Look, dude, I don't know what to tell you, man. If you genuinely think that like everyone on the internet gets equal like audience in terms of politics, then that's just really dumb. Like, I'm sure some alt-right people watch Destiny, but just to be super clear, I'm talking in generalities, right? I'm gonna say that like the majority of people that watch Destiny are going to be people who are on the left or progressive side of politics. I'm not saying everyone. There probably are some people who are on the alt-right and will stay on the alt-right and watch him, right? But the vast majority are going to be progressives. That's just, I think that's basically undeniable.
So you're saying is that you can have an audience of pretty much just anybody, right?
No, well, I mean,
I don't think that there's I don't know. I don't think that there's anything inherently right wing about making fun of DSP. I don't know. That's just how I feel.
Okay, so I don't know anything about DSP. I literally have no idea who that guy is.
DSP's the best. DSP's the best. That's how Memology got his audience. He's like one of the OG detractors.
Well, hey, good for him, I guess. Congratulations on his DSP audience. It's a shame he's moved on to right-wing partisan hack politics.
How is it partisan hack politics? Covering the riots?
Yeah, covering a riot in such a way that he only ever shows the negatives of the riot.
So would you say that
partisan hack politics?
Would you say that CNN saying that saying a protest is fiery but mostly peaceful and there's like massive amounts of arsons is being fair and balanced?
I'm not commenting on the fairness and balancedness of any news source. To be honest, the way I would usually decide whether news is fair, for the record, I don't watch any news. I only go to primary sources for the most part. I fucking hate news networks for the most part, right? And this is why I hate
saying that CNN is Patterson Hearts?
Hang on. Are you gonna let me finish, please? I'm saying that I fucking hate most news networks for the most part. They all like for the vast majority of them, they're incredibly biased. I generally like to read primary sources when I want to get my information. Such as like court documents or like papers, studies from scientists, stuff like that, just like transcripts from certain cases, stuff like that.
Okay.
I think anytime you read a news source, you're inherently getting a biased source. I would say that CNN probably are. Maybe they're, from what I understand, CNN seems to be more balanced than most places, but yeah, they probably have a center-left leaning. Just like Fox News has a right leaning, right?
You think that if they portray like stuff where there's like massive amounts of arsons as mostly peaceful, do you think that that's not partisan hackery?
Okay, regardless of whether it is or isn't partisan hackery.
Well, I'm asking your opinion.
That probably is partisan hackery then. That seems kind of bad. But my point is that that's irrelevant because my criticism of CNN doesn't matter when you think about my criticism of Memology. CNN could be perfectly balanced or partisan hackery, but the point is that Memology is still being a partisan hack. That is my point. I don't care about CNN in this context. Okay.
Do you think that people should never be partisan in certain things? Do you think that there's a line that's crossed just by being partisan, or do you think the line would be crossed when they start actively lying about it?
So when I don't really give a fuck about people. I don't know what you mean by that, but let me just say this, right? When it comes to people being partisan, hang on one sec. When I say someone is a partisan hack, I mean they generally they will side with a certain side regardless of what they think on the issue, and I think that is bad. Yeah, I think people should have a balanced view across the spectrum.
You don't think that Memology believes in the videos that he makes?
Yeah, he probably does, but I'm just saying that I think it's basically I think yes, that's probably true. He probably does believe in them. But I think that the fact that he's saying he's not trying to spin a narrative is what I take issue with.
Okay.
That's my point. That's my entire core point. I don't care if he wants to be a partisan hack, but just fucking own it. That's all there is to it.
Okay. Do you think that he also has a right to just kind of ignore it though too when I mean people
you keep going back to this does he have to address shit? He doesn't have to address shit, but I'm gonna call him out for it. What's the issue with that? Do I have to not call him out for it?
I don't know. It just seems kind of overly aggressive. I don't know.
I'm a very confrontational person. I'm perfectly fine with being portrayed as overly aggressive. I don't give a fuck.
Fair enough. All right. So I guess the last thing I wanted to talk about, I guess, is your sort of thoughts on free speech on the internet and what I guess you believe should be versus what I guess is currently.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest,
what are your views on free speech on the internet?
I don't know. You'd have to bring up a specific thing.
Just in terms of YouTube, what do you think? Do you think that YouTube's current standard for removing videos is good? Where it should be stricter? Should be less strict? What do you
know? What?
Just your general thoughts on these sorts of things.
I'm gonna choose to not to respond to this because at the end of the day, my opinion here doesn't matter because I only everything we've spoken about has been on a factual basis. We don't
really. You don't think you have a dog in the game on this? You make YouTube videos.
Whether I do or don't have a dog in the game is irrelevant to this conversation. I'm not here trying to find middle ground
over whether how YouTube should be currently run. You don't think that that's a thing that you should have an opinion on?
Whether you're missing the point completely. What I'm saying is that it doesn't. Whether I have an opinion on that isn't relevant to the topic of this conversation, and I'm not interested in finding a middle ground or something we agree on. I don't really care.
Well, I'm just kind of curious as to your position and why you believe that.
I haven't really thought about it realistically. I think at the minute it seems like they take down videos too aggressively. Personally, I am probably closer to a free speech absolutist than most people, but I acknowledge there probably should be some restrictions. But
what do you think the restrictions should be?
Stuff like hate speech, incitement to violence, usual shit.
Okay. I would say I probably even the sort of designation of hate speech is sort of vacuous and not super well defined. So I would probably just say that anything that doesn't fall within the purview of actively illegal is probably a good thing.
This is something I would need a lot more time to think about, and I would need to know the exact topic we're going to discuss if we discuss it. Because right now, anything I give is just going to be a vague, this is what my gut feeling on it. I don't really have a fully fleshed out opinion.
Well, because there's also legal precedent as for people who kind of argue that YouTube shouldn't be allowed to remove videos they don't like off of the website. Especially
again, sorry? I missed that.
Oh, yeah, there is actually some precedent as to why why YouTube should be allowed to shouldn't be allowed to remove things that they don't like off of the website, especially with their sort of kind of monopolistic position in terms of online videos like that.
So I mean honestly, it's up to ultimately. In my opinion, I don't know. I would need to think about it. I really don't know.
Yeah, because in the U.S. we have because we have our First Amendment rights and stuff like that in the U.S.
Yeah.
But there's also court precedent that argues in particular there was a case in the 80s, I believe, where a bunch of high school students went to go petition people at their local mall, and the mall owner didn't like what was being petitioned against, I guess, and said that they couldn't be there. It eventually went to the court and said that because the mall had become the de facto public square, that the management of the mall was not allowed to disallow for people to organize politically inside the public areas of the mall, specifically the food court or the atrium. I don't know if you guys have that in the UK.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, so there is like a precedent of like, yeah, corporations definitely can't do this all the time. And I guess that was the thing that Anisia's like kind of last thing that Memology had in his video was kind of dumb, was that like, you know, people who are saying this like have never worked a real job, and I'm just like, bitch, it sounds like you haven't worked a real job, because like your employer can't just fire you without fucking cause.
No, that was not her point though. This is one of the issues I had with our Twitter conversations, because you missed her point. Her point wasn't that like, look, it says it right there. Her point was that you can't do what you want at a job. You are limited to some restrictions at a job, like down to code of conduct, right? So it's got nothing to do with like needing a case to fire someone. She's just saying, you like, if you're gonna go into work and call, you know, start shouting slurs at people, you're gonna get fired. But that was her point.
You know why you would get fired, right?
Yeah, because you're breaching some company code or whatever the fuck.
Yes, that you would have already agreed to.
Yeah, kind of like how
whereas
if you break, you,
whereas YouTube. No, let me finish. No, let me finish.
Fine, fucking hell, go on.
So, whereas YouTube can basically change their code of conduct on a fucking whim and then decide that you're retroactively in violation of it and then remove videos and then ban you for it.
Yeah, except that hasn't happened. Show me an example of that.
It absolutely has happened. There's multiple cases of people who have had videos manually fucking reviewed that later got their videos removed and their channels terminated.
I mean, so my guess would be that they either should have had their channels terminated earlier because they were breaching YouTube's code of conduct.
They weren't at the time. I just said that they were manually reviewed.
Well, okay. Well, what I'm about to say is, or it was an oversight. Those are my two guesses. I don't know. I'd need to know the specifics. But those
so just to be clear, your position is that YouTube, after manually reviewing a video, later changed its policies and then determined retroactively that the video is in violation, even though they told the person, yes, this is okay, and then removed videos like that were in compliance with their terms of service, and you think that that's okay to do on a whim?
I never said that.
Okay, so you don't think that's okay to do on a whim?
No. Of course not. I literally just said, wait, hang on. I literally just said that's either one of two things. Either one, they were in violation in the first place and YouTube didn't catch it, or YouTube made a mistake. I guess the third one is that YouTube just doesn't really give that much of a fuck. And I would say, yeah, that's bad, but that's not what I said.
No, I would hope so. If you're definitely trying to make it on YouTube, I would really fucking hope so. I just think that any sort of like behavior otherwise and saying that YouTube should like have the right to do that just seems just kind of inherently cucked. I don't know.
This is the funny thing, though. You're saying it's inherently cucked and people should be on the opposite side of that. But the funny thing is, no one's actually been on that side. I don't think Anisa's ever said that's a good thing. She's just said that's how they operate. And that's the distinction that you don't seem to be able to get past.
I mean, she called the people that were... She called the people that disagreed with her freedom of speech coomers. So I don't know. Like,
yeah,
I think she has she has like yeah, they should absolutely have the right, because I'm gonna guess it's also gonna apply to people that shit talk her on the internet.
Well, I mean, not really. She's basically just saying that like this. Okay, all she's saying is YouTube can do this. She hasn't given an opinion on it. Then she said this also happens in other places, for example. Now you can say that it seems like, yeah, she probably thinks there should be some freedom of speech like restrictions in certain contexts, such as YouTube or work of place, because she said freedom of speech coomers. That could be reasonable, but you don't know what she thinks, because she hasn't said what she thinks. And I find it really funny that people are attributing beliefs onto her when they have no fucking clue what she believes. That's my entire
I don't know. I think
point.
there's an amount of insight that people can generally kind of get where her position is, especially with like who she's dating and stuff like that. I don't know. It just seems I don't know. Like I said, I think that Memology's video is right on the mark. I think that this is like a really big disconnect with how supportive and vocal he was in support of her career decisions versus like her support of like a hypothetical where he gets everything that he's worked for just like fucking nuked. I don't know.
I've got an idea. I've got a really fun idea. I've got a fun exercise for us today, okay? You ready? We're going to learn a lot from this, my guy. Let's go over the Memology video right now.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see what we agree on, okay?
I've
got it up on my own channel right now. I can literally read it to you because all this shit's
well, just link it in the chat and I'll put it on the screen so we can both see it at the same time.
Sure, fuck it. Let's go. Let's do a live reading of a PowerPoint presentation. I'm ready.
Again with the PowerPoint presentation.
I mean,
like, dude,
functionally what his video is.
Listen. I mean, like, you can't argue though. It fucking gets views. Memology's fucking killing it.
I won't disagree, but that's precisely why I'm going after him. Because I think he makes bad content. I'd like people to realize that. Like, it's that simple.
He makes really good videos. Memology's a good dude. I like him. Although I have a personal bias. I think Memology's a pretty fucking good dude. I've talked to him a couple of times.
You can like him and think he's a good dude and acknowledge he makes shit videos. I've known a million Twitch streamers that I would actively say have pretty terrible Twitch channels that are lovely people, and I love hanging around with them.
I think that objectively it gets views, and I think that's what he's going for. So I think that they're hitting the mark.
I agree, and that's perfectly fine. But I'm still gonna go after him.
I like his style too. I think his style is really on point. All right, let's play the video.
Yeah, go ahead.
My girlfriend started an OnlyFans account, which is a website where you can upload amateur porn. And I think all of it is cool. I love my girlfriend, and I'm totally fine with dudes jacking off to pictures of her on the internet. Doesn't affect me one way or the other.
I just also want to pause the video real quick and kind of call you out. When I had asked you about the format of it, and you said in the first 30 seconds it's just nothing but the slideshow, I asked specifically if he had like videos in regards to it backing it up. I know like you probably just forgot about it, but like, yeah, this is why it probably took 30 seconds to kind of get people up to speed with the story at hand.
Okay, hang on one sec.
Yeah.
So that's not what I said.
No, that is exactly what you said when I asked you was like with their video, and you said there was no video. Yeah, I can.
That is not what I said.
Here,
I said that in the first 30 seconds, he basically hammers home one point, and that one point is that idubbbz supports her. That is all he says. I never said anything about him using clips from the video. I never said anything about him only doing PowerPoint presentation shit. I said the first 30 seconds, all he demonstrates is that idubbbz supports her, and that is completely true.
I explicitly asked you if there was video footage.
No, well, look, all right, you know what? Maybe you did, and hey, you know what? That's my bad. I must have misheard you, okay?
All right.
But the point is,
I'm just saying that, like, the only advice I can give you, in this is, just don't get mad at the internet. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, dude, I love this shit. I never get mad. This is like,
you sound mad.
I mean, hey, if you want to attribute to that to me, that's perfectly fine. But I've been chilling here, giggling with my audience this whole discussion. I love this shit. I do this with my mates. I debate fucking, like random family members and shit. I love this shit. I get discussions about all kinds of things with all kinds of people. I love it, okay? I'm not mad at all, my guy. Don't you worry about it.
Okay. He really paid for the boob job too? Holy shit.
I mean, I don't see why that's relevant. Like, do you get gifts for your girlfriend, or is she just not allowed to get gifts? Is that not okay? Is that too
I probably wouldn't give my girlfriend a boob job.
Why not?
I'd probably just say that she looks great on her own and kind of work on that.
I mean, but like, if you think she'd look better with bigger boobs, why not just be honest about it? Why not just tell her?
I'm kind of a small boob guy myself too.
Hey, well then, hey, why? Okay, well, why would you pay for a boob reduction then?
Probably not.
I mean, okay, well, fair enough. You like the natural look. That's perfectly fine.
I think she's perfect the way she is.
Yeah, but my point is, like, if Ian's like, hey, you know what, bigger boobs would be cool, and she's like, hey, you know what, bigger boobs would be cool. What's the issue of him paying for a boob job for her? What's the issue there?
All right.
I mean, it seems like you don't really have a response, but you still have an issue with it.
No, I don't know. Like, it just he's put in like financial amounts of this into her career too. Like, that's the level of support I didn't even realize.
How do you know that he got her the boob job for the OnlyFans? Is it not possible that he just got it because they both wanted it, and then later she was like, hey, maybe I should do an OnlyFans?
I would say that, like, if it. I guess it would have to be the timing. I would have to see if she actually like said that like he did it to like help be supportive of her and stuff like that.
Hey, look, dude, I'll say I straight up don't know either. But to be honest, either way, I don't think it matters. If if both of them were like, hey, you know what would be sick? If I got bigger boobs and then started an OnlyFans and they got the boob job for that specifically, that's like, what's the issue? I don't understand. None of this shit really affects anybody. Like, if they want bigger boobs and then it will also do better, why not do it, right? Surely that's just a good investment, objectively.
The same way, though, I think that just like you have the right to criticize Memology, I think that Memology has the right to criticize idubbbz and his girlfriend.
But I mean, this isn't really a criticism. It's more of just like
kind of is.
Is it all right? Is it well? I mean, like, okay, so it depends on what level you mean, right? If you're just saying I wouldn't personally do this, or I think, you know, I personally think that, you know, let's just say, okay, if you would just say I don't think this is okay, that's one thing.
I think Memology's take is that this is kind of a shitty hot take for her to be dropping on the internet in lieu of him being so supportive of her decisions.
Yeah,
that's just all I have to say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, but I think that's a shit reading.
Okay. All right, let's go and finish this up.
Wait, no, sorry, can you just skip back a tiny bit?
Sure.
Whatever he said before this. I just want to see what he said. Seems to
really love it toward her.
Yeah. Okay, actually, pause it here real quick. So, okay, we don't need to know any of this. Will you at least admit the first 47s of this functionally is just he supports her?
Yeah.
So my criticism of his the opening 25% of the video being just one thing he could have summed up in a short amount of time, do you think that's a fair criticism?
Again, I guess in terms of fair, I guess that's your subjective opinion on it, but like, I don't know if I'm gonna.
No, that's subjective. Like if I let me explain.
I think it's pretty economic. No, I think no, that's your subjective opinion that it's too much. I think that objectively, though, it's a pretty economic way of getting people caught up with his central premise of it, that idubbbz offers support for his girlfriend, and it doesn't seem to be reciprocated. I think that's the core argument of this video, and I think that
just said that one sentence instead of dragging it out to 30 seconds. That's all I'm saying, and I'd say that's objectively true.
No, I don't.
Well, no, hang on. You're missing.
I mean, like you can make the video like 20 seconds long. I think that this is like, I think that the way that it's presented is like fairly economic, though. That's my subjective opinion on that one. I just think that objectively, it's generally a good idea to bring up supporting evidence to lay down the narrative that idubbbz is supportive of his girlfriend if you're going to criticize idubbbz's girlfriend for not reciprocating that support.
I mean, I think basically everyone on the internet that watches Memology's videos clearly has a level of enjoyment in internet dramas. They probably understand everything that had been said before this point already.
I like Memology's videos, and I don't like obsessively follow the fucking idubbbz drama at all.
Yeah, but you're probably busy doing your own shit, like dumb fucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Just watching the content on just playing video games, or they probably know all of this shit off the back of their hand, right?
Exactly, which is why I'm glad he gave the catch up. It's like, oh wow, yeah, that's kind of shitty.
Okay, you know, either way, look, we disagree here, is whatever. I think I've said what I want to say, so we can just move on with the video.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay, pause it here.
Yeah. Oh.
So that first thing he said, she doesn't seem to know the meaning of loyalty, is fucking hilarious to me. So I would say that isn't a criticism of her. I would say that is almost a way that, like, that is what he perceives her to be, almost objectively. He's saying that she isn't loyal, and that is a bad thing. That's precisely what he's saying. Would you agree with that, yes or no?
Yeah, I think lack of loyalty in a relationship, though, is also kind of a bad thing.
Wait, hang on 1 sec. We're not even there yet. I'm just asking you, do you think that what I just said, do you think that Memology is saying here that she is loyal, she is disloyal, and that is bad? Is that what he's saying, yes or no?
That is definitely what he is saying.
Okay, so He doesn't know that, and he will never know that because he isn't in their relationship. Whether she is or isn't being loyal, whether Ian's okay or not with this take, he has no fucking clue. So I'm going to criticize him over that one sentence because he doesn't have an idea. So why would you say that? Like,
I think he has an idea. I don't think he has like a 100% crystal clear bet your life on it guarantee, but I think it's a pretty reasonable inference and that sort of thing. I don't know, especially with his belief that like, hey, you know, YouTube should be like pro free speech and stuff like that. I'm pro free speech. I think YouTube should be the same way. I have like a lot of people that are just completely fucking butt mad with me because I make fun of them on the internet. So yeah, any sort of like person who seems to be okay with that is like kind of a shitty person inherently, and especially if they're like related to a person that does this sort of stuff.
Stop. Can we go point by point? You've run off onto like a million different other points.
Yeah, sure.
That are completely irrelevant. My point is super simple. He's saying that he thinks that she's being disloyal and that is bad.
Yes.
But he isn't he has literally no grounds to state that on. He objectively has no idea.
He has evidence to infer that there's a reasonable belief that is true. He doesn't know that like 100%.
What's the evidence he has? What's the evidence?
I'm going to guess that he said that he inferred that, and I think that the clips that he showed right there is that like, okay, so he shows idubbbz's video. The inference that he's making is idubbbz is very supportive of his girlfriend's decisions and her career. Would you say that is a true statement?
Yeah.
Okay. So next is Anisa saying that it would be 100% within YouTube's rights for Ian's channel to just get removed on a whim, and that's fine.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Okay. Like, I don't know. I think that's
how do you know?
I think that saying that that's fine seems to be kind of like just sort of shitty and seems kind of disloyal. I don't know.
But how? You've not demonstrated that. That's my entire point. He hasn't given
by saying that it's
evidence.
Just fine. I don't know.
Well, okay. How do you know Ian is like? How do you know Ian doesn't? Ian probably agrees with Anisa. That's my guess. He probably actually thinks that yeah, YouTube could at any point take down my content cop. That's true, and it would probably even be fair. He might actually think that. So she might be given a take that Ian completely agrees with. So how the fuck is that her being disloyal?
He might, but like, dude, that right there would be just like a really fucking depressive mindset to think about. Like,
I don't fucking care.
Ian operates under a position where Ian, calm down, dude.
There's
no reason to get so upset.
I'm not upset. I love yelling at dumb fucks like you on the internet, okay? But my point is, Ian doesn't say that anyway. He hasn't given his opinion, so for all we know,
fam, I really
same fucking thing.
Fam, I really wouldn't be throwing out the dumb allegation on this one, dude.
Every single one of your takes so far has been so painfully dumb, and you've
you think that Destiny
so hard and spoken over me constantly.
How did I gish gallop you? You.
Just now, you brought up like 3 different points that were completely irrelevant to the loyalty point. You were talking about how, talking about a character and how you think that's bad, and you brought up like 3 different points. That's why I said, let's just go back to the first point.
Where are my 3 points?
I can't even fucking remember, because you know what?
You can remember. You can't remember my points, but you can remember that I was gish galloping you. I don't think that's how it works, champ.
Actually, yeah, it does. If someone comes up to you,
actually,
like,
no. You have to be accurate. You have to be able to tell me how I'm trying to like change a topic with like irrelevant bullshit. You have to actually tell me how it's irrelevant. You have to remember how it's irrelevant. That's kind of how it works, dude. Let's not listen. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You really need to like not do the Destiny thing. You're probably not enough Adderall to actually adequately do it. I'm just telling you this right here, dude. You might want to like try to do your own original bit because it really isn't working, and everyone's kind of laughing at you for it.
Hey, that's fine. They can laugh at me. Look, do you know what? One of the things I love the most on the internet is when people attack me
dropped his dogs.
How to fucking I love it when people attack me
and have your dogs, dude.
Fucking idea and have no fucking idea how to attack my actual points. It gives me such
I just
an ego
did.
boost.
I just did. You accused me of gish galloping when I asked you what any of what I said was gish galloping. You can't even remember what I'm saying, dude. Really?
Hey, you know what?
Really?
I'll fully admit it. Hey, do you want to actually listen to my counterpoint, or are you just going to talk over me the whole time?
I'm still talking. I'm still talking, dude.
dude.
When I bring up something that you said in the beginning of it, at the very beginning of a thing, when I'm asking, hey, was there any video in the thing? And it's like, no. And then when I bring it up and you like get all this, I never said that. Maybe I said that. You see, like I can actually remember what I'm saying. So if you can't, then by definition, my brain just kind of works better than yours. I don't know what to tell you on that one, dude.
You know what? I'll fully admit that my memory is piss poor.
Absolutely, I will 100% endorse it. We've had adequate proof of that on display.
Hey, bud,
right
you want to
here.
let me talk? I just let you go on your tirade, okay? You okay?
Yeah, sure.
You chill? You seemed a little mad. Are you okay, my guy? Do you need to take a second out? Do you need to go take some?
I'm sorry.
You need to smoke a blunt or something? Just calm down a touch.
It's just like fucking Dunning-Krugers just piss me the fuck off. I don't know.
Dude, look, you can't...
Do you even know what a Dunning-Kruger is? I'm sorry. If I'm going to insult you, you probably shouldn't know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It doesn't fucking matter because you can throw around all the random dipshit points you can. Like, at the end of the day, ideas are what matter.
I can also back them up, though, unlike you.
Well, I mean, you can't. So far, you've just told me that.
Yeah, I can. I have just demonstrated how my brain clearly works better than yours at this point. Like, my memory...
Do you think
number one on that
one? Do you think better memory equals better brain? I'm curious.
Yes, intelligence. In terms of intelligence, the ability to retain and recall data is part of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. I mean, you're gonna have to.
You don't think so? You don't think the ability to retain and recall data is not a facet of intelligence?
I mean, it's a facet of it. It's not correlated really necessarily. Having a good memory doesn't necessarily mean you're smart, and having a bad memory doesn't necessarily mean you're dumb. I'm sure there's a level of correlation there, but it's irrelevant to what I'm saying, which is that the point is, right? You gish galloped me. I couldn't remember exactly what the points were you gish galloped me on, but it doesn't matter.
Well, then it's just your opinion that I gish galloped you.
Tell that. No, it's
not
my opinion.
Gish gallop for me?
It's when you give, it's when you rapid fire off a bunch of fucking talking points without like still allowing the other person to attack each of the ones with the purpose of stacking so many arguments on top that it makes your opponent look bad because they can't address all your arguments, but none of them actually have any substance.
Okay, but you can't remember what you can't remember what I said, but you just know that none of it had any substance.
No, it doesn't matter whether it has any substance or not. The point is you were throwing out like
three different points. Hang on, you just said that the points had no substances in your definition of gish gallop.
Look, I'll admit, I shouldn't use it in my definition, actually. I guess a gish gallop could be all relevant points, but the point is that it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even fucking matter. Do you know why?
It really doesn't. Yeah.
It doesn't because it's still a rhetorical tactic. It's still done with the purpose of overwhelming your opponents so they can't address each point. Even if every point is correct and there is a valid counterpoint, that still makes it a gish gallop. Even if every point is like completely like
I just need to talk slower for you?
No, you don't. You just need to not jump to a million different fucking points when we're trying to address one single thing.
Okay. All right.
Look, the point here is, right, that Memology has no fucking clue whether this counts as loyalty in their relationship. He's inferring this with, like, basically zero evidence. He's 100% projecting his own insecurities onto their relationship. 100%.
Okay. I mean, like, Memology is happily married with several kids, so I think his relationship status is pretty solid, but...
Yeah, but that's not what I fucking said, is it?
You said he was projecting his insecurities.
Do you think that if you're in a stable relationship, that automatically means that you have no relationship insecurities?
Do you know that Memology has relationship insecurities? I don't know.
I don't.
Only seen,
I don't, but based on the comments he's making on this, I would infer, with the reasoning that there is no reason to believe what he believes, that yeah, he probably does have some insecurities. I wouldn't be that surprised.
Either that or like he supports his wife and his wife supports him, and he doesn't like.
Good for him. That's nothing to do with idubbbz.
And he thinks that people who don't do that are maybe disloyal. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's precisely what projecting an insecurity is. Projecting an insecurity.
Well, no, you have to have an insecurity to be insecure, to project your insecurities.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily think that he does.
I can literally walk you through this step by step. Okay, I'll go super slow. It's so easy. The insecurity.
You're the one that was complaining about me going too fast, dude. I
wasn't complaining about you going too fast. I was complaining about you bringing up 3 different irrelevant points.
Well, you couldn't remember if they were relevant. The only thing that we can really like say for certain at this point is that I said them fast.
Hey, you know what? I'll fucking admit one thing straight up. The second you started talking beyond the loyalty point and brought up the other 2 points, I switched my brain off. I didn't give a fuck what you had to say because it wasn't relevant to the point we were addressing. So,
I mean, if you switch your brain off, how do you know that they weren't relevant?
Because it doesn't take any brain power to work out you're gish galloping me. It's really easy to do.
You just can't explain how. Okay.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry. Look, if it takes you 100% fucking, you're overclocked, you know, you got to.
I'm sorry you can't articulate your points, dude.
Just to work out when someone's gish galloping you, and that's my bad. Okay.
I'm really sorry you can't articulate your points well, dude. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've articulated my points fine. I said you've gish galloped me, which you did do. So
but you just can't articulate how.
I mean, why is that relevant? I don't need to say why. I don't need to say how you've gish galloped me and remember every single fucking point.
Why is it relevant that I explain what I mean when I'm saying this to tell you to stop doing what you're doing? Oh, okay, dude.
I mean, I don't know if you think you look good here in front of your like dumb fuck audience, but like any intelligent person who sees this will see how much of an absolute fucking tool you're being right now.
Okay.
You look like, dude. Look, either way. It's fucking irrelevant because the point that I'm saying is this simple. Memology has no fucking clue whether this counts as loyalty in their relationship, and it's shitty of him to say that she's doing a bad thing when he has no idea what idubbbz is okay with. And if you disagree with that, then I would say that, yeah, you're probably being kind of an asshole as well. That's just.
I mean, I definitely am an asshole. I'm definitely an asshole. Like that's not even a question at this point. But like, I don't know.
Fair enough, I guess.
I love being an asshole, though. It works. It works really well.
Hey, you know, if you enjoy being an asshole, you go for it. That's, you know, we've got fucking freedom of speech. You can go for it, my dude.
I do.
Everyone,
we do in the United States. We do in the United States. You guys don't have it in Britbong land.
I mean, like, I think we pretty much have freedom of speech. Yeah, there's some dumb shit you can't do, and I'd mostly agree with most of the things that you're going to bring up, like, you know, Count Dankula teaching his Nazi, Pug how to do a Nazi salute. Yeah, that's probably bad. He probably shouldn't have been locked up for that. But for the most part, yeah, I can go around and say what I want and not get arrested for it in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
hey, if Tommy Robinson's perfectly allowed to run around spreading complete fucking rumors and lies on like a public platform in public, then yeah, I'd say that's pretty much fine.
Okay. I don't know too much about Tommy Robinson, to be honest. But
he's just like some fucking like civic nationalist memer who's, you know, moaning at immigrants about whatever, like constantly. I'm sure someone in your audience will know who he is. How many people you got watching you actually?
Let's see. According to this, 129 right now.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sure some of them will know Tommy Robinson. They'll probably all attack me and say how he actually did get arrested. But the point is, they won't know why.
He's a Mossad agent, really?
He's what, sorry?
They're saying that he's a Mossad agent, but I don't know if that's true.
What agent? Sorry?
A Mossad agent, yeah. I know. I think Tommy Robinson is a Zionist, so that might be why. Mossad is the Israeli secret intelligence service.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah, okay. Nice meme, buddy. Good job. But either way, do we want to move on with this video?
Yes, sure.
Okay, pause it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not proof that she's anti-freedom of speech.
Okay.
Can you explain how that's proof that she's anti-freedom of speech?
I don't know. I guess when like when people say like cry freedom of speech, that seems to be a little bit demeaning towards it. Again, like I think that like there's certain agreements that you make, but again, what she's explaining is sort of like YouTube kind of deciding seemingly on a whim that like, yeah, idubbbz isn't welcome here anymore. Get the fuck out. Employers would never be able to get away with that.
When did she ever say that?
Right here.
You mean the moment where she says it would suck for idubbbz to get his content removed? You mean that tweet? Yeah, that's her saying, oh yeah, they should fucking shoot down idubbbz's shit.
Well, that would be the only way to do it. Like she's saying his content comp series, the stuff that he's already made. If they decided, yeah, after a while we decided, yeah, this isn't gonna fly. Get the fuck out of here. Like, yeah, that would be that wouldn't fly in a employer-employee context.
That's not what I was asking. Holy shit! You don't know how to address a point, do you?
Well, what was your question again? Just so we're clear.
My question, I just said, okay, so here we said that is this anti-freedom of speech? And then you went on a whole tirade about how, like, her previous tweet kind of is anti-free speech, and it sounds like she's gunning for idubbbz's shit to get taken down.
Well, I'm taking these concurrently, and she's saying that the people who are against that are, I guess, people who are crying on the internet and have never had any real life experience.
Yeah. How
So
is that
she
anti-free
said,
speech?
so like people who have this sort of attitude that YouTube shouldn't be allowed to do that, I guess, are not very knowledgeable and not very mature is what she's probably getting at. And generally, when you ascribe those sorts of positions to people who have something that you disagree with, then you're kind of, when you ascribe those to the people who are supporting a position like, freedom of speech, then you're kind of seemingly anti that, it seems. I can't even remember. Is she Canadian? I don't know. Maybe it's just
yeah, they are Canadian.
But it's a leaf. That explains a lot.
But I don't think that's a fair what's the word? Like summary of what she's saying at all. I don't think this reads as anti-free speech. I don't think
it's anti the people who are calling for free speech on the internet. Would you say that's a more adequate position?
More so, yeah, sure, but I still don't think it's like exactly correct. She's basically just saying that the people who are crying for freedom of speech have like. She's basically saying they're like what real world experience. Look, here's who I think.
I would say that this.
Let me finish. I think the exact people she's criticizing are the free speech absolutists, the people that think you should be able to say anything at any time, anywhere. That's who I think she's specifically criticizing. I don't think she's criticizing everyone who's free speech, and I don't think that's an anti-free speech position.
I don't know. I think if you're anti-free speech absolutism, you're kind of anti-free speech.
You're anti-free speech absolutist, I promise you.
Not really. Not
let me ask you a question. We can solve this. Let me just ask you a question.
Anyway, and
can I ask you a question?
Anyway, I guess to clarify, I'm kind of the opinion that the current law as it's codified in the U.S. is probably a very good position to have. Honestly.
Okay, so you're not a free speech absolutist because the U.S. Constitution doesn't uphold that.
I don't necessarily call like direct calls for violence to be necessarily speech as opposed to like direct calls for violence.
How is that not speech?
Well, how is YouTube removing things off their website speech?
That's completely fucking irrelevant.
No, it is absolutely fucking irrelevant.
No, we're talking. No. Well, hang on. You're doing it again. What I'm asking is we're trying to define free speech absolutism. What YouTube does is irrelevant to that. The US doesn't even have free speech absolutism.
No, I'm talking about your position. I'm talking about your position on freedom of speech. Well, no, you said that YouTube taking down stuff was freedom of speech.
I said it's freedom of speech. I never said it's okay or that I'm okay with that level of... Like, I never said that. You're attributing all these random fucking beliefs to me. But I don't
necessarily removing things off the internet to be speech. Just like I don't necessarily consider direct calls for violence to be speech.
But look, let's rein it way the fuck back. At the start, I asked you, are you a free speech absolutist? You seem to say yes, because that is the people that she is railing.
Well, then I clarified.
But then you clarified, and you're not a free speech absolutist. And you still uphold freedom of speech. So if she's criticizing free speech absolutists, that doesn't necessarily mean she's anti-free speech. That is my entire point.
Again, I would probably have to say that, like I said before, the things that I'm probably against are like direct calls for violence, and like that. I don't necessarily think that's speech. I think it's direct call to violence. I think that
how is that not speech? That is by definition speech. If you say a thing without doing an action, that is speech. How is that not speech?
I don't know. In terms of the concept of free speech, I don't know. That's what I mean by that anyway. Like in terms of like clarifying into the literal as opposed to like the sort of like political concept of it. Which, again, like, yeah, I can understand the distinction between that, and I can understand how that might be like a little, but like I said, I think that sort of position is like the one to take on that instance.
So you said a massive jumble of stuff. Sorry, what position is the one to take? The one, your position.
My position is I don't necessarily consider things like direct calls to violence as like encompassing free speech.
Okay,
if we're taking this,
I'm curious,
if we're taking this on the like hyper literal one, then I guess yes, on that instance you are correct. But again, like only in that instance, and I don't think that's what she's even talking about, to be honest.
I think it is, and either of us know. But either way,
well, no, I would imagine that.
Hang on. Just let me finish.
I would imagine that they're talking about because like these things are happening. These tweets are being presented assumedly in order. So I'm guessing that is people who are responding negative to her previous tweet. So when she's saying that they are the people who are crying free speech, it's generally a safe thing to say that the people who are disagreeing with her are of that position, and that is the position that she is mocking. I like that's those are reasonable inferences, right? Would you say?
No, not necessarily, but all of that is relevant anyway to the initial question I asked. And the question
how would it not be a? How would you say it's not a valid inference?
Let's go back to what we were talking about earlier. What we were talking about earlier is about free speech absolutism, and you were saying, and this is what I wanted to bring up, you were saying that you wouldn't consider the things you don't consider to be free speech. You wouldn't consider them to be speech. You would say those are outside, so I'm a free speech absolutist because those things aren't considered speech. But anyone can draw that line wherever they want. So I could be a free speech absolutist in my own eyes if I just don't consider any of the things that you may consider to be speech, right? So my point is that's completely arbitrary distinction. So,
except it would be arbitrary to each other's position. So to me, you would not be a free speech absolutist. You, to me, would not be a free speech absolutist because, again, certain things that you don't like fall outside of your definition of free speech.
Yeah, but how
so therefore, you're not including that. Whereas they would fall into my definition of free speech. So
okay, cool. You know what? I'm going to throw you a hypothetical. Let's say hypothetically, I'm someone that believes all free speech should be totally free, and I'm saying that you're not a free speech absolutist because you want to restrict people saying bomb at airport. What would you say to that?
I would say, yeah, my definition of free speech doesn't fall into the purview of direct calls to action.
But do you not see how that's the exact same thing you're doing to me, and how it's a completely arbitrary line?
No, I'd say I'd say, like, again, yes, our lines are arbitrary. Absolutely. I'm saying that we can probably have a very clear-cut distinction of what she is drawing the line on in this tweet based on the context of the previous tweet.
Yeah, I would say she's drawing the line on free speech absolutism. So she's saying, but I'm curious actually, do you think you should be able to call anyone any name at work and not have any consequences?
So in terms of work, because the way I see this is, I don't think necessarily, even though I believe in like internet free speech and the ability to say anything that doesn't break the law, I think that should only necessarily apply to larger sort of monopolistic platforms such as YouTube or Twitter or something like that.
Wait, no,
whereas, like,
you're missing the question. I didn't ask.
No, I'm explaining it. So, in the context of a workplace, that's a smaller thing for a more like clearly defined thing. Then yeah, I'd say that probably is counterproductive to it, and there should be like less allowances for that. I think that's acceptable. Just like if I were to say like a smaller website that's like directed towards, name special interest group, they probably shouldn't have to deal with people coming onto their website and just spamming words that are like hurtful towards the people that would go onto it.
So then,
in terms of YouTube, because in terms of YouTube, I think that because of their monopolistic position on the internet, they should be less able to regulate what is and what isn't on their website.
Cool. So it seems like you agree with Anisa.
No.
How?
I just said that YouTube should be very limited in what they're allowed to take off.
And there's a specific reason we're looking at her tweet about work.
Yes, I'm saying that it's not YouTube. I'm saying that if a smaller website had a because you don't seem to be getting what I'm saying, so I'm going to try to repeat it.
What you're saying. You're just bringing up a million fucking irrelevant points.
Well, no, you just said that I agree with Anisia in this, and that YouTube should be. I don't.
We're not talking about YouTube. I asked you specifically.
We are talking about YouTube. She's talking about YouTube. You dense fuck. Are you serious?
I'm convinced people who've cried for you speech when someone gets fired or terminated has never worked a real job in their life.
Serious?
Do you think that sounds like she's talking about YouTube
in this position? She's not talking about YouTube in this position.
Oh my God.
I'm so dumb. Yeah, okay. You're not able to follow what I'm saying. Okay.
You're not able to follow a fucking tweet on the screen, my guy.
Yeah, I am.
You know, I get roasted for not being able to read shit in Twitch chat, but this is actually
completely
insane.
believe it. I'm very much doubting your ability
impressive.
to. I am definitely doubting your reading comprehension skills. Absolutely, I would 100% agree with that.
I asked you. Okay, look, fuck. You know what? Whew, we're both cool. I'm Gucci. You okay, my guy? You chilling?
No, I'm really annoyed at Dunning-Kruger's at this point.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought I was the mad one, my guy. I thought you said I was getting pissed off. Are
I
you
don't
okay?
necessarily think that annoyed means mad. I just think that I'm annoyed.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, you know, if you want to
I generally try not to get mad at like stupid people on the internet as a rule.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Well, either way, look, fair. Either way, whatever.
Maybe frustrated just a little bit.
You know what? I'm glad I frustrate people like you. That honestly gives me such a huge erection right now. I've got a fucking rock solid stick in my pants right now.
I don't consent to your sexual advances, by the way.
I'm not advancing. I'm just announcing where I'm at, right?
I don't necessarily tell people about my erections unless I'm making sexual advances.
Oh, hey, you know what? That's totally cool. You don't have to tell people about your erections if you want.
I definitely do not consent to this. I definitely do not consent to this.
Either way, look, the point is super simple, right? I asked, do you think that it's okay for people to say whatever they want at work? And you said unequivocally, at most companies where it'd be disruptive, no. That is Anisa's position. Ignoring YouTube, you agree with Anisa on the work thing, which was my entire fucking point for the last 10 minutes that you just went on this whole spiel about YouTube, Mon.
Which is why I clarified it in examples of bigger websites versus websites like YouTube that have a monopolistic presence on the internet. Yes, we are. Yes, we are, because you can have nuanced positions that
are you actually impossible? Can you separate out the tweets like in your head? Are these two tweets or are these like perfectly intertwined to you?
These people who she's deriding are mocking her for her take on YouTube's tendency to seemingly delete people without any sort of really rhyme or reason.
But that's irrelevant to what I'm asking you right now. She's right here in this tweet. Okay, yes. Look, here's how the whole conversation came up. Memology said she is anti-free speech and then showed this. Then I asked you, do you think that kind of speech is appropriate at work? You said no. So by Memology's logic, you are also anti-free speech.
And then I clarified.
That's
the important thing.
But you still,
that's the important thing.
But you still
clarified.
But you still think.
Clarified.
Okay, well, let me ask again.
Let me finish what I'm saying. I clarified that the difference would be that YouTube has a monopolistic presence. And because of that, I believe their ability to remove people should be very, very restricted. And then I follow that up by saying, but in the case of a smaller environment, say, like I said, a message board for a special interest group, I believe that they do have the right to have more freedom in removing people from being able to talk on their website because they don't have a monopolistic platform on the internet like YouTube does. Okay. Just like I said in general, right. I believe that in the workplace that you should be expected to maintain some level of decorum. That does not mean, however, that when you're out in the broader public, that the government or anything like that should have the same standard. Do you understand what I'm saying, or should I repeat it again?
No, I understand perfectly. Okay. And
so you understand
Memology still thinks you're anti-free speech then?
No.
Yeah.
He said that this is a bad analogy.
No,
he thinks that this is a bad analogy.
What are you talking about? Look, he said, in reference to this tweet we're looking at right now, that Anisa is anti-free speech. And to be super clear, he actually said she is also anti-free speech. When you say also anti-free speech, and then show an example of that, that's typically an extra point, not usually necessarily relevant to the first point, right? Because it's the second thing you're bringing up. If you agree with Anisa on this tweet, and you do, Memology would have to necessarily think you're also anti-free speech. It's that simple.
Because I agree with a clarification, so I do not agree unequivocally to the sentiment that she is putting forth. I am putting qualifiers. You understand that concept of the English language?
Your qualifiers are, you're talking about YouTube and like larger websites and monopolies and stuff like that when you're talking about your qualifiers, but fundamentally you still agree with her. You still agree that at the workplace you shouldn't be able to just say anything you want.
No, I agree at the workplace you shouldn't be allowed to say what you should, whatever you want, but I think on YouTube you should. So I inherently disagree with her sentiment.
Do you think YouTube and workplaces are the exact same thing?
In terms of, no, that's why I just said that I think there's a difference.
So, okay,
are you
cool.
listening to what I'm saying?
No, I agree. I agree that's what you said, but you seem to be getting the two muddled up. So I agree that's what you said. You said they're two different things, and you have an opinion on one thing and an opinion on the other. My point is that Memology is saying Anita is anti-free speech because Anisa thinks you shouldn't be able to say whatever you want at the workplace. You are then also saying you shouldn't be able to say whatever you want at the workplace. So how is Memology not criticizing you as well?
You seem to like have a weird mental hang up on when I say I agree with a qualification, which means
the qualification is relevant to YouTube though. That's not the workplace. Those are two different things.
This is a reaction to after her tweet about YouTube. They are relevant to this tweet.
I don't think they are. Not in that way.
Then I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, I don't think that every single tweet is a microcosm that is like inherently just isolated from everybody else. Yeah, no, I don't think that.
No, you know what? I agree with you. I don't either.
Okay.
But Memology is specifically criticizing this tweet and this tweet alone for its anti-free speech.
No, he's not.
Yes, he absolutely is.
He's criticizing a sequence of tweets, dude. That's why he's showing more than one tweet.
Okay, wait, but we just both agreed that when he said she is also anti-free speech and then shows a clip relevant, like immediately after that, that's a second point irrelevant to the YouTube section. He's bringing, when he says she is also X is irrelevant to the first point she brought up. It's that simple.
No, again,
dude,
your argument also hinges on me agreeing point blank, wholesale, full cloth about this statement, devoid of any of the previous context.
But you pretty much do. You said you shouldn't be able to say whatever you want at a workplace.
I pretty much do. Isn't the same as I do. That's why you're adding the qualifier pretty much. In a literal example, no, I don't. I'm saying that there's differences and that there's nuance to each situation.
I literally don't know what to tell you.
I mean, you can smuckle all you want. Like, it's a pretty easy thing to follow.
Thing I've ever seen.
How is it a Weasley thing?
Okay, so look. Okay,
how am I weaseling?
I'm curious then. What situations?
How am I weaseling?
Oh, wait, hang on. I'm curious. What situations do you think you should be able to say whatever you want at work? What situation would that be okay at? I'm curious.
I just said I think that there's a difference. That's why I drew smaller websites to be
we're not talking about websites. We're not talking about websites. We're talking about
we were.
Workplaces.
That's why I compared them to smaller workplaces. That's why I use that analogy.
But I don't know what to tell you, man. This is the dumbest thing I've heard in my life. All right, let's start over.
I mean, you're seeming to having a large amount of trouble to understanding a very simple analogy.
You're comparing YouTube to a workplace. They are not the same thing.
100% the same.
All right, cool. I'm done. Peace out, everyone. This has been a fun conversation. With that sentence, I think we can all. You know what? We heard it here first, boys. If you make videos on YouTube, you're an employee of YouTube. They're the same thing. Workplace and YouTube, exactly the same. We heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. Okay.
That's not what I said.
YouTube's
at all.
gonna. That's precisely what you said. I'm gonna clip that shit. I'm gonna clip it and send it to you on Twitter, my guy. I'm so ready. You said YouTube is a workplace or something to that effect. You said YouTube and a workplace are the same fucking thing. That's precisely what you said. And if you don't think that the people watching right now are too stupid to pick up on it, then sincerely, I'd be scared because you absolutely said that. And
the people watching right now are calling you a bitch and telling you to run.
Yeah, because they haven't got a single argument against me. I love it when dumb fucks on the internet call me a bitch and all that kind of things. They have no idea how.
And I absolutely love it when Dunning-Kruger starts smuggling on the internet because it's just really funny. Do me a favor and do try to look.
You looked up the book of insults. Dunning-Kruger. This is pretty good. Yeah, let's just call everyone a Dunning-Kruger. Fucking 10 out of 10. Let's go.
Do you know what a Dunning-Kruger is?
I used to know. I can't remember. Like, I have no idea at the minute.
It's a person who is of like maybe mediocre intelligence that thinks that they're much more intelligent than they actually are.
You're calling me dumb in a smart way. You know what? You're a 9,000 lucky boy. I'm so proud of you.
I'm calling you insufferably arrogant but
Oh,
I guess
I am
maybe that's
insufferably
sort of,
arrogant. But do you want to know the differences between me
it's
and
sort
you?
of undeservedly arrogant too.
But do you know what the funny thing is? We're both fairly arrogant, but at least I've done the reading to know what the fuck I'm talking about. You can't interpret a sentence that says, she also said X, and then you're saying this tweet is still somehow intrinsically tied to the first one, despite the fact Memology himself has said this is a separate point. That's cut and fucking dry. If
fucking Marxist Sargon clone. That's a good one.
Wait, you think I'm a Marxist Sargon clone?
You definitely are a Sargon clone. Your smuggling is like dead on for his. Yeah.
I have no words. This is actually incredible.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like Sargon right now. Yeah, like 100%. That's like, this is what Sargon does when he gets any sort of pushback. He's like, I can't even. Like, yeah, no, that's exactly what Sargon does.
Sargon is. I've actually given a response as to why you're wrong. Sargon usually just cuckles like a fucking moron.
Yeah, I kind of gave an example of like how that's not what I said, but I don't know. I guess you just can't comprehend it. I don't know. I can't do anything about that, dude.
It's okay. You're the one that can't comprehend that when someone says,
like,
hey, by the way, this person also does the one this, but it's not necessarily intrinsically tied to the first fucking
I don't know. Like, you're the one that also, like, it's asserts that memology is, like, I think you said malding, I guess. Like, from what I can tell, that's like a portmanteau of balding and mad, but, like...
Hey man, look, if I was memeing on the internet...
Have you seen the state of your hair, my dude?
Hey, look, I'm balding all the time, dude. I fucking love balding.
You're literally balding. Yeah, you're literally balding, dude.
Dude, I'm mad and balding. I'm having a great time doing it. Don't you sweat it. I'm balding. When I say words, I fucking usually know what they mean, all right? But either way, look, I was just memeing on memology, okay? I was just fucking, I was just, you know, chatting some shit on the internet. But hey, if you want to hold me to every single random hyperbolic word that I've ever said in my life, then sure, go for it, because it would be really easy to criticize me if you take all of my points as super literal.
So wait, nobody attacks your arguments in your video, but at the same time, if I hold you to what you say in the video, I'm taking you to a hyperbolic levels of seriousness.
I didn't say molding in the video. I said molding on Twitter.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You said it in the video.
I'm 90% sure I didn't say it in the video.
You said it.
All right, well, let's fucking play it. I'm curious.
Sure.
Get that shit up on like fucking 1.5 times speed, so I ain't got all night for this shit, all right?
Let's see. Where's the video?
Let me tweet it to you. Not tweet it, you know what I mean.
I don't know, dude. I think you should probably also know what's in your videos more than I do at this point. I mean, I'm autistic. I get it. But like,
I say a lot of shit, dude. I'm perfectly happy saying a lot of shit and then sort of working out later.
Where the false equivalence
but if you can find me saying molding, then hey, fair play.
A company exercising it.
You might want to have to go to the start.
She's comparing YouTube,
I think it was at the end.
A company exercising its freedom of speech to get rid of videos they don't like, to a company that gets rid of people for saying things they don't like, also exercising their freedom of speech. So that's the end of this video.
Also, yeah, that was the other thing. Like, I don't think that companies firing employees is freedom of speech, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a cultural gap.
And honestly, the thing that perplexes me the most is you've got this like vaguely misogynistic, slight, you know, misogyny undertone video, and then you've got just like the most standard like neon lit music and the most boring PowerPoint presentation I've seen in my life. Like, couldn't you chuck some like, I don't know, like a misogynistic like metalcore rager or like a fucking rap song about bitches or something? Like, really? You've put no effort into this, and I understand you've got like a fucking million videos to make, but still, like, come on, man, it wouldn't be that hard to like give it just a slightly edgy, you know, undertone or something.
Also, yeah, if you're doing videos like this, I would probably suggest don't do this. Like, nobody likes ear rape.
Hey, my guy, I fucking love a bit of ear rape, okay? I think it's a pretty good meme.
Well, if you want the videos to, like, do well, is what I mean.
Hey, you know, I'm fine with, like, slightly, you know...
Like, I actually think my little video pretty much summed up everything you said across probably multiples of your videos, actually. And I think I've really improved the tone as well. You know what? This one's on me, my dude. If you want to take that format, add it to your videos, or even just straight download this one, you know, take out that little section and upload it to your channel, I'm sure it'll do gangbusters, my dude. Your audience will, I'm sure they'll appreciate that one. So there you go. That's pretty much everything I wanted to say. Memology is a shit channel, and if you watch him, you should feel bad. His videos are incredibly low effort, and simply put everything he said is either unqualified or just flat out wrong.
I think it was somewhere in there. I guess I can open the transcript.
I'm 90% sure I didn't say molding. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. I think that's a meme I said on Twitter.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you did,
wait,
though.
hang on. What's that about? People not being able to remember things, being less intelligent?
Again, I'm pretty sure you did, though. I'm saying that maybe.
Are you going to prove it? Like, we have the video here. I mean, if watch the whole thing.
Okay, we can find it. Yeah, sure. I was just going to open the transcript and go to every instance the word ing, but yeah, like, holy shit, who cares? Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. Again, it's loading.
I don't know what to tell you. You're saying I'm saying a word. I'm pretty sure I didn't say it. And then also you're criticizing my memory, which I find pretty ironic given the circumstance. That's all I'm saying, my guy.
All right, I'll play it. I guess we'll play it. All right.
Just whack that shit on 1.5 times speed. Yeah, it was super fucking quick. It's not a long video.
Yeah.
Saying this, but today I'm actually making another React video. So last video I was talking about someone called Diesel Patches, and in the comment section someone pointed out something that I found pretty
Can we make fun of
Diesel
Tonka too? Yeah, we
video,
can.
still butthurt over idubbbz. Pretty pathetic, I may say. So
might call into Augie's show and make fun of Tonka in just a bit.
To of course find our friend predictably in the comments, still tilted as ever. This might be an old-fashioned take, but you're pathetic if you let your significant other show their nudes to random people online. So that's a pretty solid classic molding comment.
There we go. Yeah, that one.
All right, fair enough. All right, I said molding, but it wasn't a Memology. It was Diesel Patches. So still kind of incorrect.
I don't think I ever said that you said it to Memology. I just noted it at the irony of the person who's going through male pattern baldness to say it.
Hey, I mean, look, fair enough. You know what? You caught me. I said it, and I think
it's okay. Autism is legitimately a superpower.
Okay.
No, it absolutely is.
All right, my guy.
Yeah.
Do you realize how shit that joke was the second you said it, and now the
it's not a joke. It's 100% true.
Oh, okay, it's 100%
right, true.
Sure, you should pull
so, except like I don't know. I guess like
expose me.
I don't know. I guess the difference is I kind of use like self-deprecating humor and like sort of like humility when I win instead of just like really kind of unbecoming gloating and obnoxiousness. I don't know. Maybe maybe ape that for me. I don't know, but it works out for me anyway. I don't know, but I also have like just sort of like a adorable amount of autism, as people in the audience will probably agree or disagree. I don't know.
All right, fair enough, man.
Yeah.
Either way, I think personally I've been pretty happy about this one. I think all my points came out pretty solidly. I think it's pretty clear where you've been fucking up, but hey man, you've got the audience, so you've definitely won this debate because you're gonna get
more positive
comments and shit. Oh wait, you don't?
I don't really care. I mean, I don't fucking care. Like I think that I think I did pretty well. I don't think my audience really has any difference in it. I don't think they're going to really leave regardless. I just
no, your audience isn't going to leave. That's what I'm saying. Your audience will side with you no matter. Look, we can both acknowledge that.
No, my audience will call me an asshole for even doing this whole thing. They don't like me in general and this sort of thing.
All right, well, I'm glad you've managed to cater to an audience of people that dislike you. That's pretty impressive, actually.
It is really impressive. They tolerate my autism to such a wonderful extent. They're really the best people.
What kind of videos do you make in general anyway?
Currently I just stream. I'm gonna be doing I don't know. I'm thinking about doing like long form video essays in general.
Oh, okay.
I got a couple of things lined up. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Proofread your videos. That's all I can tell you. Proofread your scripts.
I don't need to proofread my scripts. I'm perfectly fine.
You do need to proofread your scripts. You definitely need to.
Perfectly fine.
No, I'm not saying that
in a video.
I'm not saying this in like in general of the video that we just went through. Like, scripts can always stand to have revisions. Make sure you like go through multiple revisions. That's how quality comes out.
My guy, on these shit-ass fucking React videos, I really don't care. I didn't even have a script to this.
I know. I'm saying that when you start doing like long-form video essays, do.
Oh, don't look, dude.
Make sure you do plenty of proofreading.
Yeah, no, don't worry, I will. My video is completely unrelated to any of this internet drama shit. It's a video essay about a game I particularly like, so I've got the script. I've already revised it a couple times. Like, yeah, I'm going through it slowly. Good. It's taken a while. Don't worry about me, my dude. I'm doing just fine. Okay.
Just remember, revisions are always good in any stage of the creative process. All right. Well, you have a good day, dude. And get your sleep. All right. Peace out.
Have a good stream, buddy. Bye.
Yep. I think
What a stupid fucking person. Holy shit. I actually can't get over some of the shit he was coming out with. That was impressive. I don't know how we didn't hear the distinction between like work and YouTube. Like I was saying that you're saying you should have, there should be restriction of freedom of speech at work. That is also what Anisa is saying. So Memology is criticizing that one tweet. He's not criticizing both these tweets together. He's criticizing this specific sentence, this tweet. And he just didn't get it. He just fucking like, what? But YouTube though? Like, I don't know, man. That was mind-blowing to me. That was some good-ass shit. Anyway, I think I'm basically done this. I've pissed off Chloe enough, so I should probably go to bed anyway. Alright, peace out, everyone. Cheers for watching. It's been a fun one. I'll upload this on YouTube probably tomorrow. We'll see. I need to cut off the start of the video and probably, like... I might do a couple edits. Maybe not. We'll see. It depends how lazy I'm feeling. Anyway, peace out. Good night, everyone. Thanks for stopping by and watching. I've had a wonderful time. Peace out.